Getting buyers in China is impossible if you don't know this. This is Fung Cheng, and I have been doing import and export business in China for over 10 years. So in this video, I'm going to let you know the secret of getting Chinese buyers for your business. If you don't know this, you're going to have a big problem. It is going to be impossible for your brand and products to do good in the Chinese market. So let's get started. The first one is localize your brand for Chinese audience. You gotta understand the importance of cultural sensitivity. You gotta understand the taboos, right? Because there is certain colors, symbols, or word that can be considered unlucky in China. I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say an unlucky number 4. Number 4 is considered unlucky. It means death, right, in Cantonese. So in the Guangdong province, some building or the commercial building, they don't have 4th floor, right? They change the number from level 4 to level 3A or level 3B. You have never heard of this, right? So this is actually one of the examples that you got to understand the culture, the taboos, before you getting your product or service into China. Because sometimes you may think that you have done everything right, in your home country, but then when you are doing the same thing in China, you're bringing the same thing into China, and then you just find out that it is not acceptable. So you want to make sure that your products, your product packaging, your branding, your advertising doesn't, make that mistake. Because if you do, it's gonna be a big joke, right, in the market. If you want, you'll just laugh at it. And then the next one is celebrating festivals. As a foreign business, you want to recognize and participate in the significant Chinese holidays like the Chinese New Year or Mid-Autumn Festival. You always want to know more about the festival, right? It's just like, in the Western countries, the Black Friday or the Christmas, the Easter, they are the big events, right? You're gonna see a lot of good business opportunities in these occasions. Special promotions or greetings during these times can significantly endear your brand to the local audience. Alright, so this one that I'm going to talk about is big, right? You can't sell to the Chinese market, right? You can't get any buyers if you don't get this solved. It is leveraging local payment platforms. For the Chinese market, you gotta understand, this domination of digital right now. Everyone is using mobile payments, right? Platforms like Alipay and WeChat Pay, they just dominate the transactions in China. Well, you may be thinking this is nothing new, right? You may say in my country, right? Let's say I'm living in North America. People are still using a lot of digital transition, right? Well, we have Apple Pay, right? We can actually attach our credit card into a certain software, to pay it when we buy at the supermarket, right? Or any other store. You are right, but you just don't get how crazy it is for the digital payment in China right now. In China right now, you actually don't need to bring any cash with you, right? All you have to do is bring a smartphone with you, and then everyone is using, smartphone to, for the digital transaction. From the payment that you buy something at a store or any restaurant. What I meant by any restaurant really means any restaurant, right? You will have to pay by WeChat or Alipay. Sometimes they don't really take cash anymore. And even though if you want to pay cash to a homeless, right, you want to give them money, right, they actually take WeChat and Alipay. They'll give you a barcode. They're going to give you a barcode so you can scan it with your phone. So you get how crazy it is, right? Even the homeless people, right, they don't accept cash. you have to pay. You have to pay by WeChat and Alipay. They actually got a badge, on their neck, and then with the barcode for you to scan to pay. I mean, donation, right? You pay money. You don't pay money. You give them money as a donation to the homeless people. So if you want to get a buyer, you first of all, not only that you have a product or service to sell, but you have to have a way to accept their payment. So you got to ensure your business is set up to accept payment through these platforms, especially if you are selling directly. If you are doing e-commerce on your official website, right, you got a Chinese website, then you got to make sure you have these payment options, right? You got to stop thinking, having the credit card or PayPal options, is good to go. Yes, there's some part of people that has a credit card or PayPal account in China, but this is not very popular, to be honest, right? If you want to fully enter into the market of China, then you gotta have these payment options. Because right now in China, from street vendors to luxury brands, the QR code are the primary mode of payment. Alright, so this one is gonna be a little bit more tricky, but this is something that you gotta have if you want to success in the Chinese market. Understanding Chinese regulatory environment, meaning that you gotta get the right license, right? The Chinese business license or any other license or permission for your product, your industry. It is very crucial, right? Very crucial to operate legally in China and gain the trust of the potential buyers. If you got a branch, an office in China, then of course you got 100% you got to follow the regulation and rules. But if you don't, you only get a office overseas. All you are doing is selling products to the distributors, to the stores, to the agency in China. Then you gotta make sure that they are 100%, following the rules. They have all the proper permits or the license, in order to sell in China. Because you don't want them to bring you any trouble, right? You want to make sure, this is called due diligence, right? Due diligence. You want to make sure that, everything that they do doesn't make any harms to you and your brand and your business. So sometimes you may want to work with a local business consultant, right? To ensure you get the appropriate license or ensure that the people that you are working with in China has the proper license. Product certifications. So some products, they might need specific certifications, especially if they fall into health or food category. You want to ensure your products complied with local standards to avoid any issues. Alright, so after you ensure your business, your products, or even your wholesalers, your sellers, they are 100% legally legit. The next step is going to be very important for your business to get business deal in China. It is mastering the art of pricing and negotiation. There is a famous saying in the business world: know your worth, but be flexible. It means that you gotta research your market rate. You gotta know, how much your product is worth in the Chinese market, how much the buyers are willing to pay for your product or service, and how many competitors are there and what is the price they are selling. So, which means that you really need to do your homework to investigate what similar products or service are priced at the Chinese market. Don't assume your pricing from another market, your home country, right, will directly translate to success in China. It really doesn't mean that you have to sell higher or lower in the Chinese market. It just means that you gotta do your homework, because if you don't understand what the buyers are, the most that the buyers is willing to pay, and you don't understand how many competitors and what are the competitors are selling, what is the price they are selling, then you're gonna have some issues. Alright, so the next one is building mutual respect. Chinese buyers, they respect a good negotiation, right? But it is vital to ensure both parties feel the deal is fair. So you may be considered, you may be open to bundling products or offering volume discounts to close the deal. You might be heard that, the Chinese companies or the Chinese people, they really like to bargain, right? Or if you visit China, then, someone may tell you that you go to any store, any market, right? Just you gotta bargain at least 2 or 3 times before you accept the final price. Well, that may be true if you are a tourist, right? And you're visiting some place which is specifically for the tourists. But in the business world, right? I mean, it's basically pretty similar to any other companies in any other countries, like the Western countries. You gotta do what you gotta do in the business negotiation. And the business negotiation process between the Chinese company and the Western company, they are basically same. So I don't see there's much difference because of the culture. So you, as a foreign business, you got a product or service to sell into China. You just take your time to do the investigation, to do the pricing research, and then set a price, different level of pricing, right? The volume discount or whatever. Then you gotta stick to it, and introduce it to your sellers. Whatever the price you set, is high or is low, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that your pricing structure, right, the pricing policy is fair to every seller in the market. Because if you depend these Chinese sellers to resell your products or service to the end user in China, then you gotta make it fair, you gotta make it long term. It's just that simple. Because let's say if you as a buyer, right, you are going to a supermarket and you pick up for lemon juice, you pay it for $5, right? Would you feel comfortable if you see someone only pay $3 for the same thing? Right? You get my point. It's fair if that guy is buying a dozen, right, a dozen bottle of the lemon juice, then they pay $3 as a each for a bulk discount. But if they're only buying one, just like you, and they should not be paying $3. They should be paying $5, and this is gonna be the same feeling for your sellers and the buyers in China or any other market, any other countries, right? It's gonna be the same thing because this is universal. This type of psychology is universal. Alright, so the Chinese market is huge. It offers a very good opportunities for every foreign brand to get in. But to unlock them, you gotta understand that localization is key. You gotta tailor your approach, embrace local customers, and watch as doors open for your business. Alright, so before we wrap this video, I would like to hear your comments. Comment below and share your experience with others. If you would like to receive, good tips and tricks about the Chinese market, be sure to be subscribed to my email list. My email list link is in the description below. Alright, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.